Hello, 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 everybody. How are we? Happy Friday. So excited to be back. Everybody, it has been so long. So, as a note, reminding myself and everybody else that my name is Carrie, and I am so excited you're here on this live stream with me. I am a medium, a priestess, a mentor, and today we are going to be doing readings. We're going to be connecting as a community, probably talking about some really great topics connected to your spiritual path. And if you're new to the space, please be sure to say hello, whether you're watching this on the replay or if you're watching this with me live. If you've never said hello, feel free to say hello. I love meeting those new faces, part of the community, the new subscribers. I'm so excited you're here. And a little bit of hello, welcome in, welcome in. Everybody's just joining us right on time, 5 p.m. So, first of all, let's get a little check in with everybody who's here. How do we feel after that full moon in Cancer? Okay. Did you put out your moon water? Did you remember? And how are you feeling? And I was listening to a really well known astrologer. He's one of my favorites. He's a British astrologer. And I hope to interview him someday, actually. I'll have to pull his name up for everybody. But one of the things he said is that the sign of Capricorn does not like being in the placement of in the moon sign, because those two are polar opposites. And when you're connected to the moon, you're connected to emotions and you're connected to your intuition. You are more in your divine, you're in your feminine. But when you're in the Capricorn energy, you're in your logic, you're in your action, you're in your doing. So those two things don't always blend and connect. But it would have been a really good time if you had set your intentions to focus on things you want to let go, especially related to physical well-being, maybe some goals you have around health, things like that. So that's one of the things I did. So I did put out my moon water last night. I'm going to use that moon water in some different intention setting that I have. And also in general, I'm just going to read some of the comments I'm getting. So Amber says, I'm tired following the full moon, haven't slept well. So also you are a Capricorn moon. Okay. That tracks. It's funny how that also, once you get to know your astrology a little bit better, you really can see how your own moon sign is affected when it's in different placements, right? So it's something to pay attention to, is our astrology. So again, if you are new, I'm so excited you're here. Let me talk to you a little bit about what we're going to be doing here today. And this is the agenda that we do more or less every Friday. So I live stream every Friday, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And the only thing that would throw that balance off would be if for example, last Friday was the 4th of July here in the US. So I took the night off. And I did want to let you guys know that I come live every Friday, but also just to let you know, oh, I can't wait. I love the comments. We're going to get into those in a second. So I did want to really let you guys know that another really special thing that I'm doing here on YouTube with my dear friend, Lorenda Carr, who is also a medium, we are doing it's twice a month, a bi-monthly live stream. It's our own broadcast, and it's called the Channeling Experiment. One of the things that we both do is we are trance mediums. So that means that we go into that trance state, that transcendental state, and then we bring through entities and channel messages. And that has been really exceptional. I know some of you have been in it and come and visit it, and I would love to know like what everybody thinks of that in general, what your experience is. Maybe some of you guys can share. But this is what we're going to be doing tonight, and then we're going to dip into the comments. So tonight really is all about bringing through, everything is very relevant to whenever you get the message. So these are timeless readings. So whenever you watch this, my intention that I set with spirit and the spirit guides I work with is that you'll get the message you need just at the right time. So that's what it's intended to be. So it's not connected to a time frame at all. It's connected to the right time for you. So I'm a priestess, and I'll be talking more about that. I'm a Magdalene Rose priestess. So I regularly connect with and channel a group of goddesses that actually expands. So it's not always just one group of goddesses, it expands. And we really channel messages that help those that listen, clarity, guidance, healing, transformation, but things that are very relevant to where you are in your journey right now. And typically it's really connected in with your spiritual path. So we always start with a goddess message, or to see which goddesses are around us and what they have to share with us. It's a little different than the type of channeling I do with Lorenda. Here I do more conscious channeling, and that's where I connect with the goddesses and then I relay the messages to you. When we do trans channeling, the entity comes through me and really uses my body, my vocal cords to share the message, which is very exciting. The next thing I do is we do Akashic Records messages, and those are very interesting as well. So if you aren't aware, I'll share that with you. But the Akashic Records are really the energetic vibrational field and of your soul's history, every life you've ever lived and everything in between. And when you connect in with them, and you can bring through actually a lot of wisdom and guidance. Now, in the Akashic Records, it's also easier to connect with different spiritual beings. And that are, for example, ascended masters, archangels, goddesses, deities. So when I'm in that space, sometimes I connect with them and I bring that forth, just to let you know. And then finally, we always finish it with messages from the ancestors. Now, sometimes one specific spirit will come through, but usually it's a collective of ancestors. So we get messages for everyone. So I'm going to just go into the chat and share some of the messages. Let's see what we're getting here. So Justice is sharing. Hi, it's so good to see you. I'm so excited too that you're coming in to the for the mediumship and messages with Lorenda and I. I'm thrilled you're doing that, Justice. I'm so excited. I did a tarot spread for myself last night, and it literally was about feeling stuck and moving on to what's meant for me and not staying where I shouldn't. Very powerful moon. It certainly was. I felt that too. And I looked at it as, for being in that earth energy that it was, it's like, where do we feel that we have resistance? Where do we feel possibly that we're stuck? Where do we feel like we're fighting against something? I think that's a really good juxtaposition to be looking at that energy. When you are in a placement with the moon and it isn't necessarily happy to be there, or is it exalted, or I believe it's called exalted. Again, I'm a lay astrologer. I've studied it offhand, but not anywhere near to where all the professionals I know are. But it is quite curious how when it's in different signs, how those aspects act in different ways. And then also it's very connected in with your own chart. So it's really wonderful. So yeah, so we're going to get started with our goddess message, and we'll see what's going on. Please feel free to comment. And if you're coming in and watching this, I would love it if you could subscribe, follow along, set yourself up for notifications. I do regular content here on this page as well, and I will be doing more content connected to the different things that I specialize in, which are really focused again on a lot of things to do with connecting in on your soul's path, doing karmic clearing, connecting in with your intuition, working with goddesses, and really going on that path of the priestess and the divine feminine energy. So there'll be a lot to do with those topics. More to come on that. So yeah, super excited. All right, so let's get going here. I'm going to just tap in to the energy here and see what we're getting. So I'm going to just give me a moment. Let me see who's coming through. I'm going to take a sip of water and we'll get started. Okay. So right away, when I close my eyes, as soon as I close my eyes, I can feel that we have a Celtic goddess with us here tonight. And this is very interesting because many of you will know the name of this goddess, not because you've necessarily worked with the goddess, but the goddess Rhiannon. And the goddess Rhiannon is a wonderful Celtic goddess. I have worked with her before, and also well known from the Stevie Nicks, Fleetwood Mac song Rhiannon, which is interesting, not necessarily anything to do with the goddess herself. So I'm really getting her energy here. So let me just tap in, see what she's bringing forth, and then I will also do a little reading based on what I have for her. Okay. The first thing she's showing me, which is very interesting, is the image of a ring. And she is talking about commitment. And she's really suggesting this idea of commitment to yourself, commitment to your path, commitment to your heart, having a sense of timeless commitment to yourself and not putting pressure on yourself. That's a big part of what she's suggesting. She also is mentioning something about some of you possibly having some things going on in your chest area that would look like possibly shortness of breath, racing heart, fatigue, and just general exhaustion. And it looks to me that there's a lot of sort of need for balance. She's showing me an image of being outside, taking your shoes off and walking in nature, getting yourself grounded. And Rhiannon Giddens, who's an incredible musician, amazing. Oh my gosh, there's so much here for her. I can feel her energy so strongly. I know I have cards that are connected to her too. We keep moving along with her energy. She's really talking about you driving to find your purpose. And she said that a lot of what's going to help you find your purpose is as you're connected in with your ancestors, because there's a way that they give you a sense of place. And there's a sense of meaning here. And also some of the codes that are connected in with your purpose can be found on that journey of you beginning to identify who you are, that you're part of an ancestry, but you're also your own person, is what she's saying. We're getting some validation. The chest stuff is very real for me this weekend today. One of the cards I pulled last night was temperance. So balance is definitely what's standing. Yes, absolutely. That's what it feels like. So this would definitely not be anything to be concerned about. Sometimes when energy comes up like that and we feel a sense of like, this has been happening to me with several of the readings I've done today, but there's a sense of trepidation, uncertainty, imbalance, and feeling a sense. I'm also hearing like ringing in my ears. So it's like there's an inner pressure going on in general is really what I'm getting. I'm going to go ahead and grab the book just a second about the goddesses. Just a second. She is really, it's interesting that you said that, Justice, because she is talking to me about temperance. And temperance, is a very interesting card. Ear ringing off and on today, all day. Yes. So a couple things when it comes to symptoms, we know this already. When it comes to symptoms that arise for us, that we get, sometimes they can be mundane, absolutely. Sometimes they can be things that are connected to, things like maybe you need to work on your stress levels or balance, or you need to work on eating a certain types of food a little bit more than you normally do for balance. And it can definitely be tired, things, exhaustion, but also I feel like it's your spirit guides talking to you and a call to go within. That's what I'm getting. So I'm pretty sure I have Rhiannon's card. If I don't, she's reminding me. Do you know this is Rhiannon right here? Oh my gosh. She's like, hello, you have a picture of me. She came to me 2 years ago, and one of my favorite goddess sacred art is created this art piece of her, but also other goddesses, I should say. So I'll definitely have a photo, but let me see if I have her here in this grouping as well. So let me get a moment. And if you've been here with me before, you know this is part of our ritual every week. We grab she's either going to be in here or the other one. I have a few goddess decks now. You guys would be proud of me. And let me see if I've got her in here. I'm going to actually go through because I think this is alphabetical. And then we read about the goddess that comes through with this information. So let me see. She may or may not be in this deck. Again, some of the goddesses that come through aren't necessarily as popular. No, I don't think she's in this deck. One more deck to check, friends. Hang on a second. Just a moment. I've got the other one right here. I do think I know she's in one of my decks. So let's just see where she comes through. So working with the goddesses, while I'm doing this, we might as well start talking about that, because both in my own work as well, and it's funny, we have all these Celtic goddesses that are in this deck, just not here. We have Bronwyn, Caradwyn. So what happens is when you decide you want to open yourself up to work with the divine feminine, remember, divine feminine does not mean that you are excluding masculine energy whatsoever. And what it really means is that you're deciding to work with a particular group of spirits for your own transformation, spiritual path, guidance, and a deeper understanding of yourself. So, bless. She is here and she's got a gorgeous picture, guys. Are you ready? I'm freaking out. I love when I freak out. And because you guys know I get as excited. Now, here's the image of this. Look at that incredible image here. Oh, really? I love that. Hi, Alicia. Hi, Heber. So we've got Rhiannon coming in. Look at this extraordinary image, you guys. We haven't pulled her yet. She hasn't stepped forward. So we're delighted she's here. We will put her up. We're going to say goodbye to remember 2 weeks ago, if you were here, this was a while ago since we had the holiday, but we had the Kaliach, right, who was here with us last from this deck. And we want to thank her so much. And I get the ringing in the ear for that. Thank her for being here. And now we're going to be working with Rhiannon this time. She has got a delightful light energy. I want to say she came to me in meditation probably about 2 years ago. And I was saying, working with goddesses, sometimes when you work with if you've never worked with spirits, I really recommend coming and visiting my Goddess Rising membership, because we work on the skill set of spirit communication, and it deepens and enriches your life and your walk with spirit. Okay, so we have her here. I found her card. This is gorgeous, guys. There's a lot of symbolism coming in. Get ready. Get ready, friends. I'm so glad you're all here tonight, too. So Rhiannon, here she is, friends. That's her image. And also I have her here. So she's very connected in with horses. I do know that much. Okay, guys. So let me just put this here. Let me read this. And as you guys know, we are education here. So we like talking about the goddesses because we are giving them the reverence and respect that animates them and brings them into our experience, our universe, right? I know. Isn't it magnificent? Isn't it beautiful, you guys? Absolutely love. Okay, here we go. Her theme, are you ready, is our horses. I do remember that. And also sovereignty, magic, love, independence, motherhood, and strength. So I'm feeling the need to read. You guys all, most people that come to my lives know that we're going to be getting some education here, right? I know. Isn't that wonderful? I love her. Here we go, friends. Rhiannon is a major figure in the first branch of the Mabinogi, which is part of the earliest Welsh prose stories. I remember she was Welsh. I do remember that. Like other figures from the British literary tradition, she is, me too, I know. We're all a bunch of education nerds up in here. The more you know, really, when you work with the goddesses, and I will say, if you guys are in the Goddess Rising membership, this Monday for the Goddess Rising monthly I'm getting it. I'm finding it. For the monthly event this Monday, we're doing a class on Mary Magdalene. So I hope everybody can make it. So just so you know. And if there's always time to join if you want to come. Okay, here we go. I digress. Okay, like other figures from the British literary tradition, she is possibly reminiscent of an earlier Celtic deity. Modern pagans commonly regard her as a goddess, and some scholars consider Rhiannon to have a possible connection, to the Gaulish horse deity Epona. So Epona also is another goddess who's in this grouping, by the way. All right. Okay. The meaning of Rhiannon's name is unclear. However, it is often translated into divine queen. Oh my goodness, beautiful. In myth, she embodies the archetypes of both the radiant and bountiful queen and the wrongfully accused wife. In the Mabinogion, and it's a little hard to say that. Let me try and do this again out of respect. Mabinogion, we'll say that. Rhiannon appears as an intelligent woman from the other world. The myths paint her as a strong-minded, generous, strategic, and politically versed. Rhiannon chooses to marry the Prince Pule as her consort, despite already being engaged to another man. Wow. Have it your way. Pule and Rhiannon have a son named Pryderi. Like his mother, he is strongly associated with horses, and the two of them are sometimes described as mare and foal. After his birth, Pryderi disappears, and Rhiannon gets wrongfully accused of infanticide. Oh my goodness. She has to tell her story to travelers outside the city gates and offer to carry them to court on her back as punishment. The things that the symbolism do, I tell you. She demonstrates the strength of a horse through the amount of weight she can lift. Her mysterious nature as a lady from the other world is further illustrated by the magical paradoxes that occur in her stories. Rhiannon rides her white horse in a slow and stoic fashion, but still she remains elusive and impossible to catch. She possesses an enchanted small pouch that never fills up despite its limited storage space. Furthermore, Rhiannon is connected to 3 mystical birds. Ready? 3 mystical birds. You can see this on this picture, actually. I see 1, 2. There's probably another one. I only see 2 on this picture. It's probably another one here. Furthermore, Rhiannon is connected to 3 mystical birds known as Adar Rhiannon, the birds of Rhiannon. They possess magical powers, and their song is said to wake the dead and lull the living to sleep. Okay, here's how she's helping us this month, besides the thing I mentioned. And I think that I was channeling, so I don't always remember everything I channel, but what she's really saying is this sense of being confident, stepping into your power. And she's also telling me to have you all take yourself a little more seriously, that you might feel small in some areas or is not as significant, especially according to the world standards. And I'm getting that ringing in the ear again. And she said, that's a mistake to sell yourself short. She really is. She's saying that. So confidence. Rhiannon is a mysterious woman from the other world who exudes quiet strength and determination. I would say that too. She's well-versed in magic and confidently takes control of her own life. When Rhiannon gets accused of taking her son's life, she endures her punishment, otherworldly strength, and unwavering trust in herself. Rhiannon encourages you to believe in yourself. Her appearance signals that the time has come to leave your comfort zone and take a confident shot at what it is you desire. That's pretty powerful. That's what it is, taking a shot at what you desire. And my ear has been ringing this entire time. Wow, hang on. Okay, she's really coming in strong. Okay, confidence is not a guarantee for success, but it will improve the likelihood of it. Very interesting. Yep. Very interesting. I feel like she's just coming in. Okay. This is so funny because every time I'm on the stage, I've been doing embodiment with trance mediumship. So I'm a little bit like, hold on, guys, I'm doing both today. Okay. If you believe in yourself, you are willing to take risks and admit to your mistakes in order to learn from them. Confidence is the ability to trust in your own judgments, capacities, and abilities. It means valuing yourself, regardless of your flaws or other people's opinions. For many of us, being confident can be really hard. Fortunately, self-esteem is not something you have to be born with, but a skill that you can train and improve. Checking your self-talk, celebrating your achievements, and not comparing yourself to others can be a good starting point. This is really important, right? I really love it. Stepping out of your comfort zone. Exactly. This is it. Checking your self-talk, celebrating your achievements, and not comparing yourself to others can be good starting points to building self-confidence. Rhiannon is a strong leader who can inspire you to take control of your own life. She leads with love, respect, and compassion for both herself and others. She reminds you that bravery is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. That's really beautiful. Which is worse, failing or never trying? What do you believe about yourself? What do you consider to be your best quality? What is the hardest thing you have ever managed to accomplish? Do you say things to yourself that you'd never say to someone else you know and love? This is really important, I think, for all of us. Okay, here's some of her correspondences, everybody. Okay, this is how you'll know maybe she's around you. You can feel her. I'll give you once I say these correspondences, I'm going to say to you what her energy feels like for me. This is when I've connected with her, which is that you definitely don't want to take yourself for granted because her energy is it's subtle but extremely powerful is how she feels. Okay, so she's obviously associated with horses. So we're seeing a white mare, right? But she also is associated with a color white. So white candles, clear quartz crystals, right? Things like that. Also birds. So the Adair Rhiannon, are a trio of magical birds sacred to her. Okay. So you could set up a bird feeder, get into bird watching, or mindfully collect bird feathers. This is kind of cray because I literally just found a feather last week when I was on my walk, a big feather, a crow feather, and we just put bird seed. I said I have to refill the bird seed. And I've been so concerned about the birds. This tracks. Thank you for that. And also this is very interesting. The word is called a Mabinogion. So Rhiannon's role as a character in Welsh mythology offers up an excellent opportunity to connect with her. Read the Mabinogion. I think we're going to have to look that up, you guys, and dive deep into her stories to get to know her. You can find plenty of free translations, summaries, and artistic interpretations of Rhiannon's story online. Maybe her story even inspires you to create a devotional piece of art. This is so interesting. Okay, hang on. I'm getting more information. Just a second. This is really what I'm getting, you guys, which is so fascinating. I'm just getting all these. I literally just fed the birds as I came in to listen to. So here's what I want to say about Rhiannon, because I feel this is a good symbolism for all of us. So her energy is extremely an energy that is subtle, but very powerful. And it makes me feel as though she doesn't have to put herself out there to be noticed. She is emanating her essence from her confidence and just sitting back. And I feel like many of all of you empaths And those that don't always speak up the first thing or have a more subtle voice, she's perfect for all of us, because she's letting you know you do not have to talk at the top of your lungs to be powerful, to be noticed, and to be successful. And that I can feel her so strongly. Like, I feel her around my back. I feel her all around me. She is really a nice energy. Super interesting. I keep seeing all kinds of birds in my yard: cardinals, crows, or orioles, and blue jays. Same. The blue jays are at my house. Her energy, I am going to really look forward to connecting with her. I think we need to maybe have her come into Goddess Rising for one of the months. Hey, Dion, I think we need to have her come into Goddess Rising as one of her energy is very powerful, because how many of all of us are just a little bit more subtle? Have me call my therapist, kind of sort of kidding, but not. I know. So the thing I'm really feeling about her is that her energy is something that she's an energy that can really hold space for you, but also recognize you in this deeply subtle way, like very, very, very extremely powerful, but not in your face. And I'm just getting more information from her. I'm going to sit with her for a minute and just listen to what she's telling me, you guys, and share with you whatever she's giving me. So the thing I'm really feeling with her is like kind of like a queen energy, but a queen that leads when she's side by side with everybody. So she is someone, a goddess who leads from being in the circle with everybody. I'm getting major deja vu right now too. She just said to me, there's a reason I'm on your wall. She just said that. Transportation, transmutation, and being able to work with you to subtly light yourself where you are. I think the energy with her, Eight of Wands, the energy with her is that because she can really help you accept yourself exactly where you are, she walks with you in a beautiful way. She does have plans. I am very nicely surprised. I'm in any way you can ever shell. This is why it's so good to highlight a goddess a week, you guys, because we really get to know each of their energies in this collective, just to be able to see who's coming through. And as you know, I just kind of open the door. I see who's here. Also, look at this. We have the Magician card coming in with her. She definitely wanted these cards. And it's funny, these cards were downstairs and I was like, oh, I have to get this deck specifically for today. Why that is, we see now. But also, hello, White Bird. Shut up right now. White Bird. Oh my God. Okay. You're welcome, Rhiannon. So this sense of, okay, I'm going to sit with her for a while and just see what she's got to tell all of us. Let me get my water open. Now I'm super invested. If anyone has any feelings, please feel free to share. So here's what I want to talk about with manifestation. Okay. I want to talk to you guys about manifesting energy. Okay. And sometimes when it comes to our manifestations, and we imagine the techniques we would use, which we talk about quite often and regularly on this page, is the law of assumption, the law of attraction, and what is a part of that whole cycle. What is how we do that? We're working on that in the Goddess Rising membership. We're talking about that. And so part of that, what we have to realize is when we start clearing out these places where there's blockages, especially if we do any kind of karmic clearing, if you have any questions about that, please feel free to drop them in the chat. What happens is our frequency naturally rises and gets clearer because we're more in alignment with our design as spiritual beings. And so because of that, we are able to get closer to what we desire. And it's what Rhiannon is saying, and it doesn't have to be hard. it is a matter of like being in your truth and doing more clearing. You don't have to put so much effort into it. Like she's very much like an embodied divine feminine. I'd say there's a combination of her energy that feels very like masculine and feminine in a perfect balance and a symmetry, which does bode well because of explaining how she then turns into a horse, because a horse to me is a very like a masculine, you know, a masculine essence in that energy, right? Super interesting. Okay, I'm going to keep pulling cards. I feel like we're kind of dovetailing into the Akashic Records reading right now. That's what we're doing. Okay, we're going into it. This is a perfect like moving from this reading into this reading. Okay, here we go. So again, we've got the image of the bird and the 6 of Wands coming through. So light on your feet being recognized. Also, if you look at the traditional 6 of Wands, there's someone on a horse. Okay, so I'm going to pull that. She's coming all over this reading. Okay, let me pull the card because I'm seeing that. Just for symbolism, I'll show you the 6 of Wands in this. Most of you probably know. I'm also hearing a ringing in my ear. Again, another confirmation. Gosh, this is just like full of them, full of them. 6 of Wands. So feeling a sense of being vindicated, not because of a pushback against someone else's energy. Again, star card, another bird, another white bird coming in. And so here's the thing. What it's making me feel like is this, that all of you guys have been prepared along your paths. Little seeds have been dropped along the way. Little seeds, tiny little seeds. And so we've been waiting as to when we're going to be getting the clarity that we need. And when are we going to get what we're... Ooh, you had a hummingbird visit your rose bush recently. I love that, Dion. And the rose, as you know, is super symbolic for the divine feminine, Dion. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. 6 of Wands energy is with the horse, which tells us that when it's like a woman riding a horse, to me, here it is. And it's a white horse. Of course it is. They wanted me to pick this out. Notice this. It's of course, the woman standing on the horse, and she is the victor. I mean, and so what I'm hearing from this whole thing as we're looking and we're tapping into the Akashic Records and working with this with Rhiannon is that, you know, your steed or your action or the way you're going to get to where you're going to be is because you planted all those little seeds along the way. You're not going to have this jarring experience of like a before and after. It's because you planted your seeds along the way, and that's what's helping you get into the groove and into the manifestation. That your manifestations can be very gentle. This is something I ask when I do any kind of spell work or ritual or anything. I really ask for my outcomes to be gentle and easy, not jarring. And you can ask that. And when you do that, the organic nature of it, it just kind of blends in with where your nervous system is and where you are. It blends with you and it's easier for you to process it, hold the space, right? There's your Temperance card again, which we know we have a couple of our community members saying they've been pulling the Temperance card. And I'm going to give you some context to that. And then along with the 4 of Cups, we need to know with the Temperance card, when we see this, right, we see a card that we think means balance. One of the aspects of the Temperance card that it is in Dion's sign, Sagittarius. Dion, aren't you a Sagittarius? I think you are. I remember everyone's side. It's crazy. So maybe you're a Leo. I knew you were fire. That's right. You're Leo. So, okay. So the Temperance card is actually the card of Sagittarius. And if you look at Sagittarius, the centaur, is on, literally is a horse. That's right, Leo. Yeah. The centaur is holding that bow and arrow ready to go at any time. But but also is on a horse and Sag rising. Okay, good. Okay, I knew there was a Sag in there somewhere. I think we talked about that a million years ago, Dion. So oh my God. So I also showed you guys there's 2 white birds in here too. Okay, she's all over this reading. So here's what I would say. When they say, okay, I'm kind of going in a few places. Let me finish my thought and then I'll tell you what else I'm getting from Rhiannon. She's really giving me so much information. I'm excited. So the thing about Sagittarius energy is it takes you through the process, right? It takes you through the process of a transformation. The Temperance card isn't just kumbaya, let's be balanced and easy. It says, let's alchemize what we have, taking it from one state to another state. So remember, when you're asking spirit for these manifestations you're bringing into your life, be sure to ask for it to be in harmony and balance with your nervous system. And that's what I really feel like is Rhiannon is saying, is that it can be very gentle. It does not have to be difficult, and it can be in accordance with the rest of your energy, right? So remember, when the resistance comes up, and the resistance might say, well, I've been plugging away and I'm working so hard and it's not happening. Remember, maybe where are you holding on to something in your ideology? Where are you stuck? Where are you stubborn? What are you holding on to? And maybe what do you need to release in order to get to the outcome that you're hoping for? So transitions can be gentle. And I feel like that's what we're getting. Rhiannon's saying basically to us, that's the energy I'm really feeling with her, is that your strength can be found deeply within, and it doesn't have to be jarring or difficult. If you think about the symbol of a horse, okay, even the centaur from the Temperance card, the Sagittarius, right? The horse is a very steady animal, reliable, trustworthy. It is loyal and can stay doing in its place for a very long period of time. So if we think about that self, hello, good evening, good to see you. If we think about that example of the energy of the centaur or the horse, and then we're looking at that with Rhiannon, we're knowing we've got transitions, we can make things happen, and we can be confident with where we are and what we want, right? We don't have to have this persistent need to have it. It doesn't need to be difficult. So some of the shadow, I want to look a little bit at shadow. We're right now, if anyone's wondering, just so you know where we are on the journey, here we are. So we are working right now. It's so good to see everybody here, by the way. Feel free to say hello in the chat. This will also be recorded and timestamped later if you missed that. We've already had a really amazing beginning of this message. We brought through the goddess Rhiannon, who's a Welsh goddess. She's a horse goddess, but you probably know her more so from the song by Stevie Nicks, but there's so much there. So we brought her card every time. If you're new to my live stream, welcome. But I will say that every time we always open up our energy and we connect in with whatever goddess is wants to bring through their support to our community for the week, and all of in the open pantheons that we are open to everyone to work with. And so this week we have the Welsh goddess Rhiannon. Also, I will say, so next, and right now we're moving into Akashic Records messages. That's where we are. Okay. And also, you guys, if you're new, be sure to subscribe to my page. Be sure to like, follow, all those things. But also, it would be great if you guys could go back and watch some of my videos. It really supports the channel, supports me a lot to kind of get me. My goal first is to get to 1,000. You think that doesn't sound like very many, but on TikTok, on YouTube it is. And my work will get out just a little further. So it helps a lot. Okay. All right. So moving on with the reading, I want to say also, notably, this is the goddess Rhiannon right here. This art is from an amazing multimedia artist who works. She's got a few different oracle decks that she works with well-known authors. Right here we go. Let's see what we have. Googled Rhiannon to look deeper later, and this was like, wow, timely for sure. Her story is the Mabinogion. Yep, involves themes of forgiveness, particularly in the face of accusations and unjust fuss. Yes. Thank you. And I will say, if any of you are interested in working more down the earth, I will say to this, let me show you something. So the oracle deck we work with the divine feminine is this one, which is the European Goddess and Spirits or companion book. This is so comprehensive. She really did her due diligence and research, the creator of this, and gave quite a bit of that information in here. Of course, it's always good. Now, Celtic, hang on. So a lot of the Celtic lore and the information is passed down more of in an oral tradition, not as much written as that you would find in other pantheons. But there's quite a bit of people that have been bringing forth information, which is super helpful. So definitely dive in, get in there, and learn all you can if you feel drawn to them. The energy and I also, this is interesting because in this particular reading, I am getting information that comes both from Rhiannon, but also from the Akashic Records at the same time. So there's a nice, good. Okay, good. You're so welcome. You can get her stuff. I think she may be on Etsy, but she has her own website. I think she's in the UK. She's originally, I think, from Poland. Her name is Johanna Poll. So Polle. That's the deck. It's so exquisite. I'm so proud to have her. She's done an amazing job. So one of the things she's saying is how we get in our head. This is coming through here with the swords energy. So we have the 10 of swords, and then we have the 7 of swords. Now, one of the things where we get stuck, especially if we ever in tarot, and we're talking about these things also, I'm teaching a tarot class right now in my Goddess Rising membership for the Goddess Rising Circle tier. So we're going on lesson 3. We're going to be getting more into the different suits and elements and how they interact this Sunday. Ooh, really excited. It will be recorded if you are not able to attend. Definitely check out the Goddess Rising membership, y'all. It's going to be so good. And we're doing Mary Magdalene as a class on Monday. Can't wait. So, but the 10 of swords, the 7 of swords really are meaning we're tripped up in our head, right? We're stuck in our head. We're ambivalent. We're replaying things over and over in our minds. But at the same time, we have a sense of wanting to lean into discernment. So the 7 of swords is really actually a card of discernment. It means a lot of people think, oh, it means someone who's deceptive and deceiving. And I don't look at it like that. I look at it as selective. I look at it as that we are deciding what it is we desire, and then we're letting go of the rest. So this is, again, going into that whole idea of like, give yourself a bit of grace in this whole experience. And remember that gentleness is just as important as taking action. Gentleness with self can really, you will reap the rewards, is what she's telling me. So we really, really love that. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to see if there's anything else she wants to say. If not, I'm going to move into the second part of the Akashic Records reading and see if there's any other messages that need to come out for us in relationship to any other part of our experience, our lives. Now, I did mention when I wrote out for this live tonight, do you guys have anything that you want me to ask in the Akashic Records before I go in? Feel free to drop a topic in the chat if you want to. And we can also see, of course, what do we need to know, right? And if you think of anything, feel free. It could be anything. And I'm going to go ahead and just tap into and just see what else is there if no one comes up with anything. And it is okay if you do not. Okay, I'm just going to put a card back. I'll be right there. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and tap in and see what we're getting. 1 second. Pardon. Okay, so I'm just going to tap into the Akashic Records, see what comes forth. And if you do have any other questions that pop in, let me know. Okay, I'll be back in a second. Just a minute. Okay, so this is what I'm getting. So what they're saying is that some of you are coming to a standstill in your lives and you're looking for more room to grow, that you're feeling the need for spaciousness, and you're really working on being aware of your inner surroundings, your spiritual surroundings. You're looking for markers, for indicators, remembering and tuning into what, when you get advice that feels absolutely truthful, what does it feel like? And clearly being able to know what is guidance and what is just something passing, how to find your anchor. A lot of you also seem to be doing a really good job waking up in the morning and connecting with spirit right away. What do I need to know? They're telling me this is fantastic that you do this now. This is your practice. So you don't let the day get away from you too far before you check in. This is also really increasing your mediumship, your spirit communication. So I feel like some of you are working on connecting with your loved ones in the spirit world. This is something that is extra, like an extrasensory perception that you're working on. Excellent. And for those of you that do have loved ones in the spirit world, know that they are very nearby and are giving you a lot of signals right now. Some of you are getting more of that information than others, and some of you really want that information, that guidance. So they're saying, just wait and be patient. It's coming. Also, I feel like some of you, I'm hearing the word roll call. So it feels a lot to me like you're looking at all your different guides and how they show up for you in your life. And you're learning to communicate with them about what you want and need. And again, we're moving along with extra sensory perception here. There's a lot of that going on right now. I love this for you guys. And for those of you that are in the Goddess Rising membership, especially in the circle, we're going to be working more on in the months to come, spirit communication. Yeah. Here we go. I definitely want that ancestor info and I'm trying to be patient. Yes. Exactly. 100%. 100%. Been holding space for my ancestors since I'm not so afraid of it. Yes. I'm so happy. That's amazing. So that means so much to your family members, to your loved ones. I also feel some scribing and writing things down. Excellent space holding. The other thing I'm feeling is that we have almost like we've set up our sacred space that we set up to have our spirits, whoever our spirits are, converse with us in the spirit world. It's like you're creating a nice sacred space for them. I'm being shown like outside space and there's like grass. This is just an example, of course, and there's chairs around, like we're just at a barbecue and we're having a conversation, right? And this is a really good way to invite the spirits in because it's a mark of something physical that you're familiar with. So it makes it almost like a tangible experience, right? Love that. So a hardworking, wonderful energy here because you guys are so dedicated to your spiritual path. So there's a lot of this going on. They're also telling me, this must be ancestor related, that there are some cheat sheets that are coming to you, cheat codes. This is just tongue in cheek, of course, for telling you how to make things happen in your life. We call it ancestor magic. That's what one of your relatives just said, ancestor. You know what's amazing about this live, you guys? All of the readings are just flowing into one another. Have you noticed that? Like it's just the whole, it's a synchronistic thing. We know that this is what, essentially this is the agenda, but there's no disharmony here. It's just like, not that there ever is, but it's not like I'm pausing, I'm starting, I'm pausing, I'm starting. They're just flowing into each other, all these readings. It's pretty amazing. I know. I'm even saying that for myself, just saying. So I'm here for it. And I think there's reasons for that, which I'll go into in a second. Yeah, it's just kind of happening this time. I'm very glad for it. So let me just see. And I think there's part of the reason is because of this Rhiannon's energy. Because remember, and this is education about the goddesses, how the goddesses, when they are there with us, do you see what I'm saying? They are a part of the container that we're creating here together collectively, because they're seen as like the host. Just as much as I'm the host, they're hosting the energy. So why this makes it interesting is working with Rhiannon. Remember I said feels very in tune with one's nervous system and very easy and fluid. And gentle isn't exactly the word, but it feels very like there's a flow. I guess that's the best way to describe it. And an ease to this energy. Very nice. Okay, let me keep going here. She's talking to me about separating words and being able to distinguish things. I think we're talking about spirit communication now. So what she's saying is that when you're doing spirit communication with your loved ones in this, right, as we're talking about, just for your own development, connecting with your own loved ones in the spirit world, your ancestors, your guides, that sometimes what happens is you get a flash of a word. Like you'll get a word. I love that. You've got a word that comes in, a word that comes in, and it feels a little disjointed. And what she's saying is that let your guard down, that the words have a whole essence to them. So they don't need to have a lot of other words around them. So when you get a message from this is really just spirit communication. So when you get a message from your loved ones or your guides and you just get a word, feel into what that word means, the essence of it, what they're trying to project and share with you, that it has everything you need within it as far as communication goes. That one word can mean many things in essence. The main thing she's saying is don't get into your brain. Just feel what it feels like. You're describing, right? Let's imagine, she's saying, that you've gotten a slice of pizza. How many different things could you say about the slice of pizza? You could probably say 10, 20, 30 things. It's the same thing with when you're getting spirit communication. You might just you think, oh, that's all I got. I only heard pizza. But what you're getting is how it feels, what the experience is like, what the memories are, what's the download, right? It's definitely a deepening there. It's just a beautiful energy. All right. Okay, I'm going to shift gears now, actually. I'm going to move into more a proper ancestor reading, right? I know. It does kind of make sense, doesn't it? Fascinating. I think Lorenda and I kind of moved. We talked about this a little. Well, when we this was channeled, I think, from last week. It sounds very familiar to me. Okay. So what we're going to look at next, we're going to do an ancestor reading. I think we're going to work with cards. Hang on. I know what they're doing. I think I know what they're telling me. Okay. We're pulling out the ancestor cards. I have, if most of you know this, but if you're watching the replay, you'll be able to see this at a later time. And you will know that when I do teach my students mediumship, most of the time I'm teaching it what we call it evidential mediumship, of course, but it's where we just connect with spirit, right? We don't use any divination tools. But I also love doing readings with spirits and using divination with cards, because you get so much symbolism and you get so much validation and clarity, and you get a lot of affirmation. So I'm going to ask our ancestors, our loved ones, to bring through some messages. Well, and give us symbols, give us things we need, right? All the things. Oh my God, you're ordering pizza right now? Shut up. I love it. Can I have a slice? I'll just drive over to Nevada. I was thinking about pizza too, actually. That sounds super good. You had pizza for dinner. Hello. Amazing. Amazing. All right. Also, I'm going to show you guys a couple things that I have for sale right now in my shop. Just thought about them. All right, here we go. All right, let's get a message from the ancestors. What do we need to know? Some of your ancestors have a really funny sense of humor. Very funny. Okay, here we go. So I feel like I'm getting someone who has a really good sense of humor. And for sure is the first thing I'm getting. So I'm getting an ancestor that has a really funny sense of humor here. And who I would say likes to split hairs. That's what I'm getting. It feels more like a masculine, and a male. I feel like this is a grandfather energy too. I'm just going to call it out. Okay. I feel like this is Amber's. Because this is a small group, so we're doing more mediumship, so we're gonna stick with it. Okay. So Amber, would you understand having a grandfather who had kind of just a certain dry sense of humor and definitely had like to sort of poke fun at people a little bit? I feel like I'm picking up on this energy here. Let me know if that makes sense. Used to kid around quite a bit, and sort of sometimes at people's expense is what I'm getting. So I'm getting a couple ancestors coming forth. So I also feel like I have a grandmother here with me who feels very, she's very nostalgic, this grandmother. Like she would have been someone who would have always kind of talked about the old days and how things were and memories and things like that. And she's got like a stack of memories. Do you know some people really reference the old days a lot more than some? Like I never talk about that, or people I know, but some people really do. That's what I'm getting. So I feel like that. Unsure. I was only 10 when my grandfather died. Okay, maybe that's something you can check, because this one has a really funny sense of humor. And then also as far as way of passing, I'm really getting something connected to the head. It feels like maybe I had a stroke and that there was just a big headache, and I'm seeing a blinding white light in my left eye. Let me know if that makes sense. With him, there's a lot of things coming through. So anyway, so we've got Amber's grandfather coming in. We have this grandmother coming in. If anyone can take it, let me know. She definitely feels like She had a lot of pride, this grandmother, and she really she was nostalgic, looked in the past a lot. And she definitely is someone that had issues with her abdomen and possibly liver. There's a few things there. Let me know if that makes sense to anybody. So what the ancestors are talking about today is people feeling pressured about life. And they are saying that some of these things came down to all of you from all of us. That they're my paternal he died from cancer. Didn't know my paternal. Okay. Yeah, it feels like you're paternal. I'm going to tell you. Yeah, I feel like this is your paternal mainly. I will tell you that. So just to review, something connected to the head, and then there's something like I'm seeing white light in the left eye. We'll see if any of that makes sense. Somebody had a stroke too on that side of the family, which feels masculine. So what they're saying too is they're saying something about there's a race to the finish line. Like there's so much pressure that many of you feel about getting things done. And this is like making you feel like you're missing something, making you feel like you made a mistake, making you feel like you're disorganized. There's a feeling of pressure here that I'm getting that is really throwing you off. Okay. And a lot of this is passed down. It's like a hand me down. That's what I'm hearing. And it's a lineage thing, which I think quite a few people have that issue. And there is a sense of, yeah, I'm also feeling a lot in my chest too here. There's just a very deep feeling of needing to give yourself more space and grace, and to you've been handed down some internal ways of doing things that are putting a pressure on you. And there's a bit of a fear of making mistakes, I'm hearing. 8 of Pentacles is here, Knight of Pentacles. Grandfather energy here is part of that. Not the only thing. This is sort of an archetype of things we're dealing with. This is this pressure I mentioned. 8 of Pentacles, like, are you working hard enough? Are you working fast enough? Are you doing enough? Yeah. And then, yeah. I can feel it. There's definitely collective messages coming through for sure, Justice, I think. So the other thing we're getting here is that the Justice card, isn't that funny? The Justice, I was going to say, it's not the Justice card. The Chariot card's coming up, but it's in the reverse, excuse me. And yeah. And what happens when the Chariot card's in reverse? It means we're blocked. We are stopping ourselves. We're stopping ourselves from moving forward. Hello. So we're stopping ourselves from moving forward to the next step. So there's a sense of control, trying to control the destiny. This goes back to the beginning of this conversation. Again, I'm going to do a class on manifestation. If you guys are interested in that, let me know. I'm definitely going to make it as like it'll be like a workshop, but its own thing. But one of the things about when we're looking at the law of assumption is to think about not that we just want to manifest things, but we want to manifest an experience of how we want to feel. So 1,000%, right? So when we have that experience, yeah, okay, good. So when we have that experience of working on manifesting, we want to make sure that we write in our manifestation that we want it to feel pleasant, that we want to feel it to feel joyful, that we want to feel pleasure, and we want to feel ease, that it doesn't have to be hard. Okay, good. I'll put something together like a workshop because there's so many things I think it's just would be wonderful. And I feel it so much like it's something we can continue to work on, right? Queen of Swords, Nine of Swords. Here's the good news. So, what are we releasing? The Nine of Swords, which is that repetitive thought that we're just not doing enough, the anxiety that lives with us, that persists and continues and goes on and on and on, but we're releasing it. Okay, right? Okay, good. Thank you for that, Heber. I was feeling you a little with the feminine there. So that makes sense to me. Thank you for sharing that. Okay. Okay. You're going to do very well, Sinister Days. I just want to tell you, you're going to do very well. I know, me too. Love these cards. You're going to do very well on your test. Preparation. Hecate's coming in again. Queen of Swords here. Yeah, you got it. You're here. Queen of Swords. So Hecate's coming in. She's always in with the ancestors. You guys know that. She's part of it. Five of Wands in reverse, Page of Pentacles in reverse. One of the things I'm getting with this is the work ethic is very much like that labor-related work ethic that says you just can't work hard enough. I mean, you got to keep working hard. It's the thing that says to you, if you don't work this hard, you're not going to be able to do it, right? Yep, Hecate coming in. Love her. So in other words, make the whole thing playful, right? So make sure that when you're thinking about one thing you can also do, if you have something that you're wanting to create and manifest, doesn't matter what it is, imagining yourself having that thing. And when you're having that thing, imagine yourself being relaxed. Imagine yourself being happy. Imagine yourself feeling ease. And if you don't feel that way, you can do some clearing around it, like tapping, right? Journaling. You can do some breath work, right? Energy work, visualization, violet flame, Reiki, right? So looking at it from that perspective, okay? We want to thank the ancestors so much. Now, I want to show you guys a couple of things, okay? Let me show you. I have these tarot cards on sale. Let me show them to you. Hang on. Okay, I have these for sale in my shop. I'll open them up and show them to you. This is for the person who likes something unique and earthy. You cannot buy these on Amazon. These are created from someone who lives in my state, the Mushroom Hunters Tarot. I'm going to find it and show it to you. Hang on a second. Give me a minute. You guys keep chatting away in the chat. I'm going to show the comments on stage so you guys can all chit chat. Give me a second. I'm going to find this deck. It's going to take a minute. Okay, friends, thank you for your patience. Found it. It's already in here. Okay, so just a little note about these guys. So, okay, so let me show you guys these because they're on. I have them on sale, so I want to show you what I got. All right, so this is for those of you that tend to be kind of earthy and like something whimsical and original. And I'm going to go, if you like a mushroom, okay, I'm just going to show you guys these really quickly before. So that's the Temperance card, right? The symbolism in the Rider-Waite is still there. There's the Death card. See that symbol in the back? Hilarious. The Page of Pentacles. My God, with the pig, and the Moon card, which I think is super cute. See, it's still got the symbol in it. Thank you, ancestors. Exactly. They gave it to us always. The Sun card, you can notice that symbolism. Look at the Ten of Swords with the hilarious. The Queen of Pentacles. It's still super inclusive, which I love. Aren't they cool? The King of Swords, Knight of Swords. Whoops. Now look at the Fool card. It's so cute. It's like the mountaintop, right? The Emperor card. I'm trying to remember which this one is. I think this is the 10 of Wands. Ace of Cups. Super cute. Queen of Swords. So these are on sale right now for me. They're all paper, by the way. So they they feel amazing. Mushies. So they feel amazing. Now, normally, oh yes, have a great night, Justice. So glad that you came. So glad you were here. They also have a really nice guidebook. I'll tell you really quickly. So really nice and thorough. It's all original, right? Super cute. I know. So normally I want to say these sell for $45, I think, in general. I have them on sale for $35. So if you're a big person who likes these, they will be on sale through the end of July. I've got about 8 of these, just to let you know. One other thing, let me show you guys. Hang on. So I just want to say I'm adding to this. So I created this book on the Akashic Records. Okay. It's really a guidebook and journal. I'm right now adding to it, right? So for those of you who are interested in starting to look at the Akashic Records and you want to try it on your own first, I created this guidebook, which it's based loosely on the intro class that I teach. I wrote this all originally myself, and it goes through what the Akashic Records are, how to access them, blah, blah. And then there's all these, what to look out for, what's right, what's challenging about them, and then also questions to ask in the records. Now, I'm not selling this on Amazon. And the reason I'm not selling it on Amazon is because if I publish anything publicly in that way, I want to write a book eventually and pitch it to Llewellyn Books, which is a big metaphysical book thing, a publisher. And if I publish anything on Amazon, it sort of takes you off of the whole equity thing that you are self-published. So this is my guidebook. I only sell this through my website. I know, right? Cool. But I'm adding to this book, right? So right now I have this on sale for just $10. I'm going to be selling a more comprehensive one. It will be $20. But if you're interested in this, let me know. It will really get you started. Okay. And this is what it goes through. Introduction, of course. That's all about me and working in the Akashic Records. Then it has intro to the records. What are the records? How they work on an energetic level. What you can do in the records. Preparing to access the records. Building confidence in the records. So different little things that can go on in the records. What if you feel blocked? How do you know if you're in the records? Integrating them into your daily life and so on. And then there's a lot of questions to ask. And then there's space for journal. So if you're interested in that, let me know. Okay. But again, I'm going to be doing a more comprehensive one that's coming probably in another month at the most, because I've already written it. I'm just adding. So here's what I want to say to all of you guys. This has been such a fun night. And I am thrilled that you guys are always here every week. Thank you so much. Right. And I look forward to it every week. I can't wait. If you're interested in anything to do with Goddess Rising, please check out the website. Or if you want to get a reading, coaching, things like that. So I am definitely doing a lot of things right now. I have a lot of really cool things coming out in the next even month that I'm offering. So if you find that you want to work with me, please feel free to check it out or reach out. I'm happy to do it. I want to thank you all so much for being here. It was amazing. Again, if you're interested in signing up for the Lorinda and I have just a few spaces left. We're doing a mediumship and messages private event with only 10 people. We've already sold a lot of the spaces. We only have a few spaces left. It's going to be Saturday, July 19th at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be fantastic. So I would love to see you guys there. Thank you again so much. I love you all. I hope you have an amazing rest of your weekend. If you need anything, feel free to reach out. I know. You know what? I'm so sorry I did not respond to that beautiful message. I'm so glad, Dion. I'm so sorry I did not respond. I read your entire message. It was beautiful. I've been waiting to like talk to you about it. It was amazing. And I had many of those same reflections. And I was reading it again and going through Thecula's story as well. The girl from Turkey. Amazing. Okay. You are all so welcome. You're very welcome. I'm so glad you're enjoying. I'm so glad you're here with us, Dion. We miss you. Oh, I know, but still, I like to answer people's. All right. Sending you all so much love. I will see you next Friday, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Take care. Bye-bye.